Hey y'all, it's your girl Jada J. So the last episode was slamming. I loved it. They did a great job. Okay, so let's go right in. So this episode was really about their struggles and kind of high points in all of their lives individually and of course as New Edition. So with Ricky, we find out Ricky actually had a pretty bad, substance abuse problem, and he had a problem with alcohol and pills, and so he said codeine, oxy. I was like, oh gosh, dang, Ricky, because he went to go get some help. He realized after it came down to we losing the house and stuff, like I really got a problem. Well, matter of fact, actually, his wife woke up when he was in the bathroom throwing up, and she was like, Ricky, and he was in there just. It was a wrap. Like, he almost overdosed. Whatever it was. He was in there throwing up. Next thing you know, we see him in NA, Narcotics Anonymous. And I was like, do your thing, Ricky. Yeah. You know what I mean? By the way, I would like to know, did he ever go to NA? I want to know that. Okay, because I said, okay, Ricky, go, because he already knew, like, I can't be doing this kind of stuff. Like, what am I doing? And he had a woman that stuck by him. Appreciate you. You know what I mean? He better appreciate her. Are they still together? Let me know. Because I get it if they're not, but just wanted to know. So, okay. So then we really realized the divide with the group, because all that was like really going on. Like, he was getting worse with the drugs, like when the group like split on tour. But we really realized what the divide that was going on when they showed up. All of them had different tour buses. They wasn't not on the same bus. They was flexing the new outfits, new shoes, watches and stuff. And had a whole bunch of people getting off their tour buses. And then Brooke Payne is talking to the manager, because Gary's out, is talking to Jeff, their bodyguard / friend. And he's telling him, he's like, because Jeff asked him, he was like, Brooke, since when do they all show up on different tour buses? He was like, since Male Ego got involved, because every one of their second to last albums flopped. Like, every last one of their second albums flopped. So he was like, so wait a minute, you tell me they don't got no money? He was like, yeah. He was like, even Mike and Bobby? He was like, no, Mike and Bobby are good, but the rest of them flexing. They ain't got no money, and they flying all these people first class. And Jeff was like, first class? He was like, yeah, man, first class, okay? And he was like, Bobby ain't even show up to half of the shows. Like, he's not showing up at rehearsal, and when he does show up to rehearsal, he's asleep. And then he was like, the rest of them just half-assess it and call it a day. So he was like, but man, he was like, yes, we've come a long way since Candy Girl. Because that's when he was talking about they used to be heavy. And remember, when they was kids, they was working hard. Because that was their chance to get in the game. And then Brooke is like, yeah, and they were more professional then than they are now. Ain't that a shame? So, okay, so they're on tour. And of course, Bobby is going over his set time. He's doing, it's my prerogative. I could do what I want. And I love that now. I always love that now. I'm still over Bobby, but he alright. He's grown, I think. I don't want to judge him. Okay, so yeah, he up there overdoing it. You know what I mean? Over his set time. Next thing you know, DeVoe come out. He like, because he was like, I'm tired of this. Because he asked Mike and Ricky, he's like, how long has he been out there? They go like 2 hours. And then he's like, you know what, I'm tired of this. Takes off his jacket, goes out there. He was like, yo, y'all ready for that Belle Biv DeVoe? And he was like, I want to thank Mr. Bobby Brown, but I just want to know, are y'all ready for some BBD? And then so Bobby was like, what the heck are you doing? He was like, what's it look like I'm doing? So Belle Biv DeVoe, they come out, they performing. Girl, I must warn you. I sense something strange in my mind. By the way, I want to say with that, okay, it was good. I'm going to come back to this. When they did the video, when BBD did the video for Poison, I was like, it was good. But then, okay, obviously it wasn't actually Belle Biv DeVoe. It was the actors. It sounded like they tried to come into it a little bit, like do their own thing with it. It wasn't bad, but it was like certain parts where I was like, yeah, I know this. And then they kind of did like a run with Elijah, who played Ricky. He did a little run on him. I said, no, Elijah. No. And then DeVoe did trying to do his own little swagger when he was doing the rap part. I said, no, he was doing it a little slower, trying to be more. I said, no, DeVoe. But it was still slamming. I loved it. I was still going in on a song. Obviously they're talented singers and rappers, so I get they're doing their own thing, but just once you're doing a song like that, you kind of want to stick as close to the original as possible. And I commend the fact that they were doing the singing on their own. I like that. So anyway, back to the tour. When they're doing Poison, Bobby had Suge Knight. It was Suge, y'all. It was Suge. I'm being told it wasn't Suge Knight who was talking about. It wasn't him? Okay, it wasn't Suge. It wasn't. I'm also being told I probably shouldn't say his name on camera. Okay, never mind. Alright, so Bobby had, his friend was back there, and he was like, man, what we gonna do about this? You about to let him punk you? Huh? You gonna let him punk you? And then so Bobby was like, man, this is BS. Next thing you know, he go backstage, get the hose and stuff. Johnny looking like, what the heck? Because he was like rolling the hose out, really about to spray them. I said, please tell me this did not happen. Like, because I didn't know. And I was like, and he was like, I don't know how to work this thing. And I was like, oh, thank God. Thank you, Jehovah. So then he goes out there on stage and is like, he started trying to get into it with DeVoe. Because, technically he's the one that came up there and was like, Bobby, get off stage. So it's a whole fight and stuff. The fight get all the way backstage. Bodyguards is fighting and stuff like that. Everybody, they got their people fighting. Bam, somebody pulls a gun. Brooke is looking at this. And I feel like it was like his heart was so broken to see his boys fighting like that. Because he had a heart attack. And Ronnie, I believe, was the one who came out and discovered him. Because everybody was running out. Well, I think when they heard the gunshot. By the way, the gun didn't get anybody. It like shot like a hole in the wall. Then Brooke was like collapsing in the hallway. Ronnie came up, was like, and all you see is like, it was like a camera shot. Like they were like video footage. And then he's like, man, need some help. Next thing you know, we got Brooke in the ambulance, and they won't let DeVoe get on. Like, last time I checked, can't you have family in an ambulance? At least one person can sit on one of the... I didn't appreciate that. And how he shoved him out, I didn't like that. Just random, but I didn't like it. And then he blaming Bobby, because... And he was like, I wouldn't do nothing to her Stro. And then DeVoe was like, what, man? You did all of that back there. This whole fight's because of you. Since we was kids, you always thought it was about you, and it's not. It's never been about you. He was like, you trying to tell me this is my fault? It's my fault? He was like, yeah, it's your fault. And then he's walking. He was like, I'm done with this. And everybody just quit. Because then Bobby was like, I came back to do y'all a favor. Bobby. And then JG... is like, he was like, you ain't doing nothing for me, so I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, you better watch your mouth and all, so they squaring up. JG about to go get him, but somebody stepped in the middle like, yo, it's not cool. I think it was Ricky, because he was really trying to defuse the situation, because he was like, we about to quit on tour, like, what the heck? And then Mike was out too. He was like, man, let's face it, we not a group no more. We not even business partners. It's like, it's a wrap. Then that's when Ricky got even worse with the drugs, and then that's when he realized he needed help. So, bittersweet, because he was doing drugs at the time that they were on tour, but it got worse because of the group breakup, and then it got better because he realized, I need to get myself together. So, and then DeVoe ended up getting married. Lovely wedding, by the way. Lovely wedding. And he was actually singing lead for Candy Girl. Did y'all notice that? All out. This is where I almost cried. They were all back before he was like rehearsing his vows and stuff like that. Before the wedding started, and the first knock he gets at the door, it's Bobby. And first Bobby was acting like the police or something. He was like, man, who is this? And it opens the door and it's Bobby. And they had this whole thing like they just seen each other yesterday. Like it was, because we know they had that kind of that big fallout, but it wasn't really. It was like, man, what's up? And he's apologizing to DeVoe like, man, you always been the cool one. So when I knew I pushed you too far, I knew I went too far. Okay. He's like, man, we all wild out. It wasn't your fault. He was like, but it was mostly your fault. And they had some good laughs. Next thing you know, all the boys show up, and then Brooke comes in, and they're all having this heart to heart. And even because Mike and Ralph, we know they exchanged words when this tour broke up, because Mike was like, oh, you always thinking about yourself, because Ralph was like, you know what, I don't need this, like, I'm about to just go. And Mike was like, you always looking out for yourself or whatever. He was like, if I would have looked out for myself, your career would have ended 10 years ago, buddy, because saying I could have left the group, I sang lead, so that was the last thing they said to each other. So it was kind of difficult for them to speak, but when they did, he was like, what's up, man, and they ended up having their heart to heart later on when Ralph was asking Mike, like, are you sure you want to get married, man? Are you sure? Because Ralph and Xena got divorced. And he ended up, was that, like, that short, everybody? Because Ralph was remarried by DeVoe's wedding. Like, he had a whole new wife. And I was like, what is this? By the way, appreciate it, though, because Xena was asking for a lot. But Ralph was like, I'm not gonna be an a-hole, because he definitely did some cheating on Xena. I don't care what you want to tell me. He definitely did a little bit of cheating. We don't appreciate it, okay? So she asked for a lot, okay? And he was just, and the lawyer, you know, you whisper in your lawyer's ear, he was like, Mr. Tresvant will not contest, and he just gave her what she wanted. That's what happened. So appreciated that. You know, just because he always got annoyed with Xena every time, because she kept trying to, she was like, Bobby doing this, that, and the third, and you not. And I kind of knew he was getting annoyed by that, because I was getting annoyed by it. Like, appreciate you, girl, trying to push your man, but stop, you don't want to compare him to somebody else. You know, unless it's needed. And I wouldn't be wanting to compare him to Bobby. Okay, so, because Bobby was a bit of a mess. Alright. And even at the party that they had, Brooke is trying to give all of them kind of a celebratory toast. You know, cheers to Bobby doing his own thing. Cheers to New Edition. And he's like, well, actually, I started New Edition. So, and Bobby's like, so that means I get both cakes. And he freaking digs his hand in both the cakes. And everybody's looking like, really? And then kind of we see him in sort of like hindsight, and he's looking around and he sees the boys, they're all kind of talking to each other and stuff, and he was looking like, I really missed that, like being a part of the group, you know, before everything went wrong. By the way, random, I was very annoyed about all the women that were on him when, like, I was just like, could y'all back up, you know what I mean? It was just, they were just so pulling, like tugging him. And then the one, how did this like, girl, you get off me? You know what I'm saying? Can't you see I'm looking? You know what I mean? He was just he's looking. And then next, you know, Bobby, come on. And they just kind of pull him down. And some girl whispered in his ear and said, they pulling his face. I said, oh no, that just, I was surprised he didn't say nothing, because he usually just had to go off. He didn't need to be disrespectful. I was like, if you'll excuse me, okay, I'm trying to look at what I've been missing. And then you just, you know what I mean? I didn't appreciate that. Just random. And by the way, I have a question. Was that Luke James singing Mama Mama? Was that Slip on Your Red Dress? By the way, I just need to stop saying by the way. I loved that interview. Loved the interview. It was so natural. Loved it. Like they would just boys talk. I loved it. Appreciated that. Okay, even Bobby wasn't getting on my nerve. Okay, so I love the interview. The slip on, that's when Johnny was like, slip on your red dress. And because they gave a preview to his and Ralph's, a couple of their songs on their new albums. Was that Luke James singing, or were they playing Johnny? Because I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds fantastic. And we know Luke can sing his behind off, but I said, is that Johnny? Let me know. Because I know somebody knows whether that was Luke singing, like if it was a live recording, or if it was Johnny. I don't know. And how it ended, I was a little mad. We still had 10 minutes left on the clock. But other than that, I thought it was fantastic. The BET, did they do that on a live stage? Like, was that, you know? Because it was like, yes. I said, this is the BET. I'm watching the BET Awards right now. This is not New Edition no more. This is BET. Because it was, one of the guys DeVoe invited to the wedding, I guess was like one of the like executives for BET, and he's like, I gotta get them on my stage, like, and Brooke is like, oh, it's never easy to get all 6 of them, but you better hurry up. And so then it was like the 25th BET anniversary, and they're up there performing. It was wonderful. And you know, Bobby had to have his little own thing, and but it was rehearsed. It was nice. It was clean. And I appreciated how he said, "Getting girls is how I used to live," because we know. You say I'm not, they say I'm nasty, but I don't give a dang. Getting girls is how I live. He said, getting girls is how I used to live. So I feel like that shows some growth in his character. They did Candy Girl, they did Cool It Now. Cool it now. Ooh, watch out. You're gonna lose control. Cool it now. Candy Girl. It killed. I wish I was there. Like that 25th anniversary. I wish I was there. It was fantastic. I loved it. Let's see. And I was wondering too. I said, is Bobby gonna come out anytime soon? Did y'all think that too? Maybe those of you who didn't. Y'all probably saw it. I'm behind. I'm late. Because I was like, where's Bobby at? Because I noticed that y'all said there's only 5 of them up there. Where's Bobby? And I knew it was him that wasn't up there. Next thing you know, Mr. Bobby Brown, and he comes out singing "My Prerogative." Do what you want to do. And then he came out for Mr. Telephone Man. You know, where he was he probably was like, I don't want to be back there dancing. I want my song where I actually have some lines. Okay. Because you know Bobby. Okay. You know Bobby. And by the way, they showed some... fire my script person. You written, by the way, too many times in my script. I'm tired of it now. Sorry about that. Let's see. They showed Bobby, like I said, when he was coming to talk to DeVoe before the wedding, and appreciated this. DeVoe offered him like a glass of champagne, and he was like, "Nah, man, I'm good on the I'm good on the liquor. Just get me a soda." I liked that. I liked that because when exactly did Bobby? Because I didn't know. Was it around the time when he was with Whitney? He was still doing cocaine, right? So I was wondering, when did this come? Because for me, that was like, oh, maybe is he clean now? I didn't know the time span on that, because I don't know really when Bobby got clean. You know, because he talks about it now, like, yeah, I did that, which is I could respect that. He doesn't really act. He might be ashamed of it, but he's still gonna be like, yeah, you know, I did that. You know, that's what happened. You know, so he'll talk about it now, but I don't know when exactly he got clean. So yeah, this was a great, fantastic production. And by the way, I forgot to say, in the second one, Ralph, Xena had actually lost a child, so Ralph was affected by that. In the second one, or it might have been, was that the first one? I don't know. Xena lost a child. That I'm gonna say that was the second one. I'm gonna say it was. Yeah, that was very sad. Obviously I didn't know that. Which isn't saying nothing, because y'all know I ain't really know nothing. But I want to tell you, when Boyz II Men came and performed for Mike, when he was getting on the tour bus, they were like, "Can we sing?" I knew it was Boyz II Men. I just had a feeling. It didn't look like them. Okay, I'm not saying I got a problem with that, but I just knew. I was like, that has to be them. And then when they did Can You Stand the Rain? That was fantastic. It was just the harmonies, and it was clean too. It was clean, like it was just clean, freshly done. Like it was clean. You know something you'll see something you're like, oh, that did a little bit of an edge up, but y'all look good. Y'all look good. I almost cried. I didn't, but almost. It almost had me. Okay, it didn't, like I said, but almost. And If It Isn't Love, I cannot believe I almost forgot to mention that song. That is my jam. And if it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Makes me feel so sad inside. That's the joint. Come on now. Yeah, they actually did the video. They killed. They did a little bit of the video, and then they switched to a live performance that they did. And you're not my kind of girl. I like that too. You're not my kind of girl. And then it's like, it'll be one guy will say, you're not my, and then the rest of the group, kind of girl. Like, I like, you're not my kind of girl. Kind of girl. Yeah, I guess that's how it goes. But it was fantastic. How many times can I possibly say it? Fantastic. This was great. I hope BT does some more stuff like this, because they killed it. What is that? Is that gonna be something? Lawrence Fishburne is doing something. I can't think of what it is, because I saw the title too. I'm interested to see that, because Lawrence Fishburne is a good actor, very good actor. So I'm interested to see what that's gonna be. But this was really good. Like I said, I love how they ended it out with the BET 25th anniversary performance. Those actors, they really did a good job. Because when they were up there, I was like, yeah, that's killed it. And I didn't know, let me just say this, I did not know that are they saying Bobby's haircut like that was not, it wasn't intentional? Like, did the barber actually mess up on his hair and that became a thing? Because I seen guys wearing it like that. Like, if you look at other pictures and stuff, you'll see, like, back then they used to wear it like that. Not saying it's ancient, I'm just saying. So, but what is that how the hairstyle came about? And I was scared for that barber too, because I was like, he about to get fired, because he was looking at these girls coming by, and he was like, oh yeah, and the next you know, clip, and Bobby was like, what did you do to my hair? What did you do? And Bobby was rude to that barber too. I wasn't shocked though. He got a little attitude. And yeah, he shows up. The concert is over. Like they've already performed. And he's like, y'all ready to go out? The champ is here. And he was like, Bobby. But Mike was like, Bobby, no, the show's over. It's done. Like, what are you doing? And next thing you know, and you hear Bobby, Bobby, and he was like, oh, y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? It looked like the show just started. And he's like, y'all coming or what? And then they're like, nah, we're good. And he's like, okay, well, I'm about to go perform. And he went out there. Okay. So yeah, this was an awakening, because I definitely didn't know that about Ricky Bell. I definitely didn't know that. Yeah. And they said, actually, when Bobby was talking to DeVoe, he's like, you always kind of been the glue of the group. I've heard other people who follow, like, the group, New Edition, they say Ronnie, did I say Ralph? I mean Ronnie. Ronnie was kind of the glue of, and almost like the most hardworking, as, like, no shade to the other ones, but, like, if you look at him, they say when, like, Ronnie is up there dancing and stuff, because he had to work so hard to get into the group, it's like, it paid off, because you see Ronnie, they're like, I don't know, because I really haven't seen them live too much. I know they performed, like, maybe a couple years back on BET, and I saw that performance, and I was like, they're really good, but I wasn't really, they were all good, but they say, like, once you look, if you really look at them, like, if you observe the group, you can't take your eyes off Ronnie, because he's really killing the dance moves, because he's doing the dang on thing, you know? So, yeah, and Michael Bivins really got on that executive hat, you know? He was serious about that, because Jeff was telling him, you know, bodyguard / friend, executives never go broke. And he was like, so how do I go about being an executive? And so we see Mike really got into that, because he actually started managing Boyz II Men, and he has some other groups. We see him on the phone at one point. Don't know if I appreciated this, because the person on the phone was like, you told me you got me if I came here, and now I'm not getting paid every time my song gets played or something like that. He was like, listen, you don't get paid every time the song is played. You only get paid when you go on tour. And so he was like, oh, but I bet you get paid. And Mike was like, look, I'm never going to try and take food out of your mouth. Believe me, I've experienced that. And so he was like, Mike, look, I'm not really feeling the love right now, man. He was like, look, did you read your contract? And it panned to this, like, gold ring he was wearing in this watch. So I don't really know what that was supposed to be, but I didn't appreciate it. Okay, didn't appreciate it. All right, and I just want to say the young men that it first started with in New Edition Part 1, they did a great job. Everybody did a great production. It was fantastic. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching New Edition story, y'all. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's very good. It's your girl, J2J. Peace.